Today our learning objectives will be, I will identify the different parts of plot from the Three Little Pigs. And our language objective is, write the text evidence that supports the different parts of plot on a graphic organizer. Today we're going to learn about these different words: exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. So when we hear the word exposition, I want us to move our hands like this. Exposition, because exposition is the setting of a story. So students, go ahead and let's do this together. Exposition, exposition, and what is exposition? Exposition is the setting of the story. Now I want you to move your hands up, like this, up at a slant. We're going to do that for rising action. What is the rising action? Oh, the rising action leads you to the climax, or it's the problem. So I want you to move your hands up like this when you hear rising action. Rising action. Let's add that to exposition. So we have the exposition, or the setting, and then we have the rising action. Now let's add another word, climax. The climax of a story is the turning point. So I want you to use your hand and twist it like this for the turning point. So turning point is our climax. So we have our exposition, our rising action, and then our climax. Let's try that again. Exposition, rising action, climax. So, what is the rising action? The rising action goes up. That's right. What about the climax? What motion do we do for the climax? Oh, that's right. We twist our hand for the turning point for the climax. What about exposition? Exposition, that's right. We move our hand sideways. So we have our exposition, our rising action, and our climax. After our climax, we have our falling action. Falling action. Our falling action are the things that happen after the climax or the problem in the story and helps us to form our resolution. So we go falling action, and then we're going to go sideways again for resolution. Resolution. So we have our exposition, our rising action, our climax, our falling action, and our resolution. So now I want to show you this in a diagram, in an organizational chart. We have our exposition. Remember like how we moved our hands? Exposition, our rising action, our climax, our falling action, and our resolution. Now students, we recently read The Three Little Pigs, and I want you to fill this chart out based off that story. I want you to fill in this organizer, this graphic organizer, with the exposition, our rising action, our climax, falling action, and resolution. So here is an example of our chart that a student filled out. So we have our exposition, which is the Three Little Pigs home for the first time. And then we have our rising action, which there are several different events that lead to our climax. One of those events is pig number 1 builds a house out of straw. And then pig number 2 builds a house of wood. And so there's several different rising actions that you could have chosen. Then we are at our climax, or our turning point. And the climax is the wolf gets frustrated and jumps down the chimney to get pig number 3, the third pig. And then after our climax, we have our falling action. Our falling action is the wolf falls into boiling pot over fire. And after our falling action, we have our resolution. And that's that the pig cooks and eats Big Bad Wolf for revenge.